Hello everyone, Board Game Lawyer here. It is the end of the year, and I thought as one last video for this year that I would talk about some of my favorite encounter sets in the game Marvel Champions from Fantasy Flight Games. So I have representations of all the different encounter sets here. I thought I'd go through them one by one, talk about the reasons why I like each one. Or I will say this, that there's not one of these encounter sets that I dislike. I like every single one of them, but it's like anything else. You like some things better than others, right? So I thought I would just kind of go through the different encounter sets and point out my favorite ones, talk about those just a little bit, and close out the year. So we'll get started. So let's first talk about the cards that come, or the encounter sets that come in the core box: Rhino, Claw, and Ultron. Like all three of these encounters, I would say that of these three, let's look at that. Let's look at the core box, and then the first three encounter sets that we got separate from the core box up into the first campaign box. So we also got the Risky Business encounter set, we got the Mutagen Formula, and we got the Wrecking Crew encounter sets. And I would say that of these six right here, that I enjoy Rhino, Claw, and Mutagen Formula. These are probably my three favorites in those of these first six that came out. I like Rhino. I probably played this one more than any other one. I like to play new characters against Rhino, so I definitely have more games logged with Rhino than everyone else. Claw, I like his just straightforwardness. He draws extra boost cards during his activation, during his attack activation. I like that. And I like Green Goblin. I like minions. Risky Business, it's good. Ultron can get a little bit long in the tooth. And the Wrecking Crew, there's just not the option to put the modular sets into the Wrecking Crew. And so that's why I probably enjoy these three more than these three. So we'll just push these three off to the side for now. And we'll stack these guys right over here. Okay, let's talk about our first campaign box. We got Crossbones. We also got Absorbing Man. We got the Taskmaster. We have Zola, Red Skull, and then if we're going to add a sixth, this will be the one in between the two campaign boxes, Kang the Conqueror. So again, I like all of these encounter sets. They're a lot of fun. Probably the ones that I enjoy more than others would be Absorbing Man. Probably not as much as I would like Crossbones and Taskmaster. And Zola, I do like Zola. Now I'm coming from a solo perspective. I play most of my games in solo, so Zola's fun. It's just a little bit, I don't know. He might be more fun in multiplayer than he is in solo. So we'll move him down here with Absorbing Man. This is a tough call right here because I like both Red Skull. Now, initially, I didn't like Kang the Conqueror because I felt like it was a little too clunky. And for a newer player, I didn't get into the game until right about that time. I got into the game during Hulk, so that was right before this set, and then Kang would have been next. So I didn't have a lot of experience playing the game. And so Kang wasn't on my radar early on. I was kind of anti-Kang. But I do like him now, and I like Red Skull. So if I had to pick between the two, I would probably just take Red Skull as a solo player. I'm sure, again, Kang, much more fun in multiplayer. So we'll pick Crossbones, Taskmaster, and Red Skull. And we'll set those right up here. All right, then after that would have been the Guardians of the Galaxy. Galaxy's Most Wanted box came out. And in that box we had Drang, Fun, Collector, Escape the Museum. We also had Nebula, and we had Ronan the Accuser. And we didn't have any boxes in between. We didn't have any encounter sets that popped between this one and the next box. And so I'll just pick a couple out of here that I like more than others. Now, I do like Drang. That was a pretty fun encounter set. I didn't have I don't have as much fun playing Infiltrate the Museum, Collector 1, mainly because it's just, you just have to build so specifically for it. And I like those noun cards, and when they get defeated, they get captured and whatnot. So probably not so much Collector, but Collector 2, I really do like the Escape the Museum. I like the story that that one tells. So I do like this one. I don't like that one as much. Not terrible again. Nebula. If I had to pick between these two, Nebula and Ronin, if I have to pick, I'm going to pick Ronin for sure. Because Nebula, I enjoy less than Ronin. Ronin's a challenge that I like, and I have beat Ronin, and it feels very satisfying. Nebula, I feel like almost like if I beat Nebula, it's more like an accident than anything else. So Dragon Collector 2 and Ronin would be my 3 favorites of these 5 encounter sets right here. So we'll push those 2 off to the side for now, Nebula and Collector. Next we have Ebony Maul. We've got Proxima Midnight representing the tower defense, Thanos, Hela, and Loki. So of these, this was the next campaign box, Mad Titan Shadow, and then there was a release in between this one and the next one, which was the hood. We'll go ahead and include the hood out there too. So if I were to pick between Ebony Maul and Proxima Midnight, Tower Defense, definitely like Tower Defense. I really enjoy that. I don't know that everybody enjoys Tower Defense as much as I do, but I really like that one. That may be my favorite in the box. Proxima Midnight, Tower Defense. So we'll put Ebony Maul down here. Thanos, I like the Thanos. If I had to pick between Thanos and Loki, because they both use the Infinity Gauntlet, I'm going to pick Thanos because it just seems more thematic. Loki uses the Infinity Gauntlet. Now, I don't have a problem necessarily with Loki using the Infinity Gauntlet, but I want to have Loki on his own, without the Infinity Gauntlet too. So I think that I would probably enjoy this Loki more if we had a Loki that was just Loki without the added accessory there. So Thanos over Loki, and the hood and Hela. Boy, this is tough. I like the hood. And why do I like the hood? I like the hood because of all of the extra mods that he brings to the game. And I do like his gameplay. For probably the same reasons I like to play against Claw and Rhino and Crossbones. I just like that head-to-head challenge that the hood gives. So of these 6, I'll take Tower Defense, Thanos, and the hood. Not saying that I don't like Hela, and I like the story, but it's the same story every time we play. So I'll just pick those 3. Next, we move into our Spider-Verse. So we have Sandman, Venom, Mysterio. We also have the Sinister Six. And we have Venom Goblin. This one's not too hard for me to pick. Venom is probably one of my favorite encounter sets in the entire game, so I'm definitely going to put him up there. And Sandman is also one of my favorite villains in the Spider-Verse. So I like Sandman. I like Venom. I think they did a nice job with both of those. Probably not as keen on Mysterio. Sinister Six has kind of grown on me, and Venom Goblin I don't know, the setup for Venom Goblin just intimidates me. It's not one that I reach for to grab right away if I'm going to play a solo game. So probably I'd say Sandman and Venom and the Sinister Six would be the 3 I would pick of these, and then Venom Goblin and Mysterio, we'll push those off to the side for now. Then we move to X-Men, and there's quite a bit in X-Men already. We've got Sabretooth, we've got Project Wide Awake, Master Mold, Toad, Magneto. Toad is representing the Mansion Attack, and then we have from the Mojo-verse, we've got Magog, Spiral, and Mojo. Now, I will just go on record saying that I like every single one of these. These are all fun, and I haven't played with any of them as much as I should have by now. Now, I've played with Sabretooth a few times, and I really like Sabretooth. Magneto, one of my favorite villains in all of Marvel lore. So I'm going to pick Magneto to go up against. I also like Toad, the Mansion Attack. So this is really tough. If I were to try to, there's 8 of them here. If I was to limit it down to 4, that's really hard for me to do. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go with my favorites. I got to limit it somehow. So Magneto and Sabretooth for sure I'm going to keep. And I love Sentinels. I love the Mansion Attack. Why don't I just take Mojo? He's going to represent all of these. I'll take Mojo. And how about I just pick those 3 there? Okay. I'm not sure how many that leaves me with, so I'll lay them out. So we have Mojo, Magneto, and Sabretooth. We've got Dr. Octopus, Sandman, and Venom. We've got Tower Defense, Thanos, and the Hood. I'll put them in the order in which we play them, just like that. Over here we've got Drang, Collector 2, and Ronan the Accuser. We've got Crossbones, Taskmaster, and Red Skull, representing the first campaign box. And the first 6 encounter sets that we received: Rhino, Claw, and Mutagen Formula. Now, if I were to try to narrow it down any further, that would be hard. These are my favorite encounter sets, I guess, throughout the course of the life of the game. So, just kind of looking at each row then. Rhino. I mean, I just got this special feeling when I play against Rhino. He's very straightforward. The setup is very easy. You could play many Rhino games in an evening, so I do like Rhino a lot. I like Claw for this kind of same reasons. He's just a little bit more advanced than Rhino. Taskmaster, I've had some really fun games trying to get his captives away from him. Crossbones, Green Goblin, Red Skull. Tell you what, rather than trying to narrow this down to like 5 or 6 or 10, I'm going to leave all these out here and I'll just pick one from each row. So in this first row, I'm going to say that I like Rhino the best. Most games with him. First game I ever played was against Rhino. It's special feeling, sentimental reasons. I like Rhino, and plus he's one of my favorite villains in Marvel, Rhino. So we'll stick with him. In this row right here, I think the one that I would like the most in this row here is probably, there's a lot of good ones here. Let's take the Hood. I'll take the Hood in this row. So Rhino, the Hood, and then down here, my favorite's going to be Venom. I like Venom. So Rhino, Venom, and the Hood from each of the basically 3, we'll call them waves here, of Marvel Champions. So those will be my tops, not much further above all the rest of these. They're all good. It's a fun game, and I look forward to playing more Marvel Champions in 2023. Also, for my channel in 2023, I'm going to try to play a little bit more organized. I'm going to try to go through all of the heroes and all of the villains throughout the course of the year. So we'll look forward to that. And I have a concept that I've been using, that I've been looking at recently. I call it Advanced Precon, where you play with the Precon decks, but you just swap out. You make sure that you keep one copy of everything that's Precon, and you can swap out extras on top of that. So I'll explain more as I get into that series through next year. But thanks for watching all my videos this year, everybody. And I look forward to visiting again with you next year playing some Marvel Champions.